All right, we are back. 30 and 30. You guys know what's up. 30 videos, 30 days, no edits, no do-overs. Just hit record and then post. All right, so today I'm doing some dry fire. This is a P80. Nice little build. But I had a conversation with a friend who is not interested in carrying outside of the house. All right, so that's not an argument I'm going to have with anybody. I'm not going to try to convince anybody. At this point in my life, I've had those discussions probably 10,000 times. And it's one of those things where until people start to see the need for themselves, me beating them up with statistics and their civic responsibility and the Second Amendment and Constitution, none of that's going to change their mind, right? So I've just kind of learned that it's a process and evolution, and they will either grow into it or not. But the question was, I have a pistol for the house. They have a Glock 17. They got it on my recommendation for a pistol because simple, right? It's just so simple to use these things. And they got it with a dot. And we just discussed a little bit of what should they do to practice for home defense, to feel safe with the pistol and be able to defend themselves if they had to in their home. So this is what we worked on. So I had them work on first just mounting the pistol with both hands on the gun, so they just drive out onto a target without pressing the trigger. So just press out onto the target. And then we would do 10 reps. So I had them do 10 reps of just pressing out onto the target, both hands on the pistol, and catching the dot. And just seeing the dot on the target, seeing the target with the dot showing up on it, kind of like a video game. You know how we target focus to drive the dot, right? So, but you got to remember, this is somebody who's not really a shooter. They're like probably the average gun owner is. So we did a little range time. They did really well with the dot. They started with the dot, which is kind of an interesting thing nowadays. If you think about it, it wasn't that long ago that everybody thought you had to start on irons first. And then with the proliferation of red dots on rifles and the ease with which the average person can start making hits at range with a rifle using a dot, now with the pistol, we're pretty much at the same place, man, where you give somebody a dot gun as a starter, as their first pistol, and almost right away, they start making hits, which makes shooting more fun. I get it, less of a challenge, but as an intro tool to get people into the world of shooting sports and all that stuff, the dot is a great way to bridge that gap. They start experiencing success right away, and we build from there. So had them just press out drills. So the press out is, or the way I do it, roll out, press out, whatever you're gonna call it. So I'm gonna start under my dominant eye with the pistol, the muzzle up, so that if the round were to go off, nothing's gonna happen. And they just roll out or press out until the dot comes up into their line of sight. So they're looking at the target. They never stop looking at the target. They just suddenly see a dot on the target. Now, we practiced not pressing the trigger every time, because I don't want them to just get into the habit of every time the gun comes out, the trigger gets pressed, right? Every time they see the dot, they press the trigger. Not a good way to do it. So I want them, since their focus is their home, being safe first, and then also if they had to defend themselves, I want them to train themselves to determine that this is actually something that should be shot, and then pressing out. So we worked on pressing out, both hands on the pistol, right? Drive the pistol in, see the dot, and then we worked on this. So press out, finger on the trigger, up to the wall, but don't break the shot. Come off. So now we're developing that trigger awareness of where does the trigger break. So right about there, and then we just practice just driving out on the trigger, come off. Drive out on the trigger, come off. Drive out on the trigger and come off. And we did that a few times just to get them familiar with shoot, don't shoot type stuff, so we could have that conversation. We did that for a little bit, mounting with both hands, And then we started the real work, which is we're going to mount with both hands. Don't press the trigger. Then right hand only, drive it out, find the dot. Now transition to the left hand only, find the dot. Back to both hands, find the dot. Right hand only, find the dot. Left hand only, find the dot. And then we started to press the trigger. So I'm going to come out, find the dot. It's a good shoot. Right hand only, press the trigger. Transition, left hand only, press the trigger. And we did that. So we did probably 15 minutes of just mounting the pistol, both hands on the gun, pressing up to the wall, sometimes pressing through, and then right hand only, right? Pressing up to the wall, sometimes pressing through, and then left hand only, right? Sometimes pressing through, find the dot, sometimes press up to the wall, sometimes press up to the wall, break the shot. And we did that, I want to say 20 minutes. So we probably did, overall, it was an hour. So they paid for an hour. So it was an hour private session. And I gave them a plan moving forward to every day spend 15 minutes of what we just did. Two hands, right hand only, left hand only, two hands, press the trigger, right hand only, press the trigger, left hand only, press the trigger, up to the wall, don't break the shot, up to the wall, don't break the shot, up to the wall, don't break the shot. We covered quite a bit more than that, but that's the gist of it. I really think sometimes we have to look at the context. We have to contextualize the technical work. What are we doing, right? Circumstances dictate strategy and tactics. Tactics are going to dictate tools and techniques. Their circumstances are they're not going to carry outside of the home. Their G17 is for the home only. They don't even, I encourage them to get an AR. If you're just going to be in the home, you're not going to carry, like, of course, get a pistol, like buy all the guns, right? But if you're just going to be in the home, thinking about home defense, I think an AR is a better choice for most folks. It's just ease of use. It's so much easier. Yeah, the safety manipulation issue is there, but a little bit of practice, it's a non-issue. However, they had a little bit of an aversion to that. We'll get there. So, Glock 17, never going to leave the house at this point in their growth. So, what's important to them? What the circumstances are, it will never leave the home. It will be used as a home defense tool in a place where, which is part of the lesson, in a place where they are safe and bunkered up and on the phone with the police and waiting for the pros to get there. And if anyone comes through the door, then it's probably malevolent intent, because they will be warning that person not to come through that door. So, however, circumstances being what they are, if someone did come through the door, we needed some exercises to train shoot, don't shoot, decision making. And that was the purpose behind, sometimes we touch the trigger and don't break the shot. Sometimes we touch the trigger and break the shot. So it's a good discussion. I feel like I did some good work on behalf of the Constitution and the Second Amendment community and firearms owners in general. And I really love that. I love winning people over to this, getting people to dip their toe in the pool, see it's not so bad, and then just go ahead and jump in. So who knows? Let's see. I'd love to come back here in 6 months or a year and say, man, these guys have everything now. They're full-blown three-gunners, ARs, shotguns, pistols, even revolvers. They have a little bit of everything, and they are loving it. They are shooting and they are carrying. Well, let's see. Let's see what happens. So it's been a process. And we even did or discussed doing a little bit of force-on-force type work next time around, just to expose them to the stressors and the actual decision-making process that they will have to go through should they ever have to defend themselves in their home. So, all right, guys, that's it for today, man. A little bit of stuff. Thought I'd share it with you what we worked on today. It was kind of fun, interesting. Also, this isn't a bad little blaster. This is a P80. It's the Glock 17 model, so I'm not sure. I know they have different designations for that, but trigger is nice and sweet. Yeah, good. Mag release works great. Everything's great, man. And these frames, it's kind of got the 1911 grip angle, so it just points really well. And yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys on the next one.